Good morning. Today on this Holy Family Sunday, it's a day set aside by the church not only to honor the family of Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, but also to honor your family, all families, the institution of the family itself, which is deliberately designed by God. The family is the most important institution on the earth. All of the happiest, most peaceful, most enduring societies in all of world history have had a deep respect for family life. Why? Because we know that within the family, it's the first place where we learn life's most important lesson. And that is the lesson of self-giving love. A love that consists in the gift of our very selves for the life of another. Each of us came into this world because two other people did just that. They unselfishly gave themselves for the sake of the other. We celebrate this feast day too because we need to be reminded of what a good and holy family looks like. Why? Because the family is in far more desperate straits today than it ever has been in the history of the world. We know that more than half of all marriages now end in divorce. A stable family is now the exception to the rule rather than the most prominent in society. And that's never happened before in the history of mankind. And therefore, this feast day reminds us that there is nothing that we can do more for the human race right now than striving to be good examples of good and holy families by loving and respecting and honoring each other within family, working for the good of our families, and making that one of our most important priorities. The family is the school where we learn genuine, honest love and the care for the other. Everywhere else in the world, you're loved because of what you can do for your performance, whether that's in the workplace, whether we see it in the entertainment industry or in the sports industry. But in your family, you are loved for your very self. You are loved simply because you belong to them and they belong to you. Outside of the walls of family life, you are loved because of what you can do. Inside your family, you are loved simply because you are. We know that a family begins at marriage. I had the opportunity to celebrate a wedding yesterday down at St. Joe's in Circleville. It was a great opportunity to remind them that moment as they were proclaiming their vows to each other as husband and wife, they were proclaiming and forming that institution of the family right then and there, because that is the very core of it. A man and a woman who promise permanent faithfulness to each other and are open to life and having children and rearing them. That's the essence of what God has created. We can't change that design. We can try to call a lot of other arrangements marriage, but we know that that is not something that we can do because God is the author of what He has given us from the very beginning. A genuine relationship between two people of the same sex may be generally good, and even a self-giving relationship, but not equal in what God has designed for us from the very beginning. Even Pope Francis has mentioned this time and time again. However, sometimes his words get twisted in the media. And sometimes families become dysfunctional. We all know that. We've all experienced that. But within the brokenness and dysfunction of family life, there is hope. Dysfunction is just the opportunity for us to get better, because we know that all of us, in some way or another, we're all fallen. We all experience brokenness. All of the saints experience brokenness and dysfunction in their life because there's a little brokenness in all of us. But the saints became saints because they took steps to get better. Amid the ups and downs, they were able to put themselves in the right place to be able to receive goodness from God. And that's what makes us holy. You know, the Catholic Church is the institution in our world that is still and always and everywhere teaches the fundamental principles of marriage and fidelity and the sanctity of every human life. That's why she's sneered at and scorned by the culture, by social media, and hated so much by the devil. The Church is not the inventor of life and fidelity. God is. The Church has been given to us by Jesus to protect and transmit the Scriptures and the faith as it has been handed on from generation to generation. And the Lord promises that the gates of hell will not prevail against the Church. And if hell cannot defeat her, neither can we. No matter how bad humanity may seem sometimes, human nature was not designed at Hollywood or Harvard or MIT. Human nature and its design has been given us by God in heaven. And no human being can ever escape the value of life that has been given to us by God. A life that has been designed for us specifically. And even with all the dysfunction that we experience in family life, may we remember that God has something in store for all of us. He has a remedy for our brokenness and dysfunction. He shows us the value of unselfish love in his Son within the love and fidelity of family life with Joseph and Mary. And so, my dear friends, today as we celebrate this great feast day of the Holy Family, may we turn to them and ask for comfort when it hurts, for strength when we are weak, and for help when it seems hard. Because there is nothing more that the world needs to see now than our desire to become holy families. Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, pray for us.